Where am I? There's nothing on the other side of that ledge. There's nothing on either side of me. How did I miss that coming up here?
Hi, I'm Miss Jean. Join me on a trip to Discovery Mountain, where the air is clear, almost clear enough to hear your imagination, and where every day is an exercise in faith. Join me for today's expedition in Discovery Mountain. It's another rainy spring day in Discovery Mountain, and Mr. Simon is about to begin his daily routine. Each day he walks to the back of his store, opens the big double cargo bay doors to check on someone, to check on his patient. Let's listen in on them now.
Well, old girl, how is my patient today? There you go. Sounds like the tune-ups have been helping. Just a few more tweaks. We're not as young as we used to be. Now, where are my glasses? Bluebirdie, old girl, I tell you, I can hardly read a thing even with them on. It was a good thing that Jamie, with her young, sharp eyes, was in the store the other day when that Jake fella was at the register. I couldn't read the numbers to save my life. Well, she wants to meet you too. Just not yet. Not yet. And I know you want to get out there and feel the fresh air running over your wings, but I just don't know. I think our flying time might be over. It might just be a thing of the past. Something for the history books.
Granddad, Mom wants to know if you want artichoke hearts in your salad. She's making us lunch before she heads off to work.
Well, girl, time to shut you down for today. Yes, that was Jamie, my youngest granddaughter. No, you can't meet her yet. I told you, not yet. Now you rest a while. I'm going to go have lunch with that girl. I'll try to get back again later. Well, she is eager to meet you too, but I just can't. Not yet. Coming, Jamie. Tell your mom yes to the artichoke hearts. And tell her I hope she has more than salad planned for me for lunch. I'm hungry.
Well, would you look at that? The rain stopped. At least I thought it did. Oh well, good weather or bad, I'm moving on. No more being stuck on this same path. No more cave sleeping for Jake Donovan. Enough is enough. I'm hiking until I'm far, far away from this town. Funny things happen to me here. Onward I go. Knapsack on my back. Mountain trail.
This is Jake's 5th day wandering in the wilderness. Still, he hasn't made use of his compass, only his sense of direction. Now, unfortunately for Jake, his sense of direction isn't very good, and it isn't getting any better. He sets off on an ambitious hike, only to end up a couple of hours later, right back where he started. Again.
No, it can't be. I can't seem to escape this place. I'm back at the cave. It just won't stop. I know, I'm gonna run in the opposite direction. Whoa, these rocks are slippery. Well, finally somewhere new. Where am I?
Jake is trying to get far, far away from Discovery Mountain, but instead he ends up at the perfect place to view the entire town, Lookout Ledge. He stands on the rocky edge just up the mountain from the town Discovery Mountain. Now on a clear day, you can see the entire valley from Lookout Ledge, but right now Jake can't see more than a few feet in front of him. The rain clouds have settled in like layers of gray sponge on top of the valley, and they seem to sit on the trees. The rain pounds down and the thunder claps.
Where am I? There's nothing on the other side of that ledge. There's nothing on either side of me. How did I miss that coming up here? Somehow I climbed out onto a ledge. There should be guardrails on this thing. Who in their right mind puts a ledge with no guardrails?
Why Jake chose to run away into the wilderness and the mountains is a mystery. And part of the mystery is that Jake is afraid of heights. And we already know about his sense of direction. So why did he choose to run to the mountains? Right now, he can't answer that question even for himself. He's paralyzed with fear, standing on Lookout Ledge. With nothing around him but the steep path he climbed to get up, he stands frozen.
What have I gotten myself into?
Jake, afraid of heights and running away to the mountains? It just doesn't make sense. And now he's stuck on Lookout Ledge in the middle of a thunderstorm. What will he do next? Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hi, I'm George Swanson. I play Mr. Simon or Granddad here on Discovery Mountain. As you're listening to the program, are you imagining what my character looks like? Does he have gray hair or brown? Well, you don't have to guess. Visit our website, discoverymountain.com, to see. You can meet the other characters too, like Blue Birdie. Just look for the characters page on discoverymountain.com.
Hi, I'm Jean Boonstra. Now, kids, I know that you likely aren't listening alone, and this message is for the moms, dads, and grandparents that are listening along with you. Discovery Mountain is a brand new program for kids brought to you by the Voice of Prophecy. Now, the Voice of Prophecy has been around for a long time, more than 85 years. And this program is just one of several that we have available right now or are planning to roll out in the very near future. So I invite you to listen to our flagship program called Disclosure, hosted by my husband, Sean Boonstra. Now, Disclosure is a 1-hour program featuring relevant topics for today. You can listen to Disclosure on all the major podcast platforms, on iHeartRadio, and online at disclosureradio.com. You've fed your kids spiritually. Now take a little time for you. That's disclosureradio.com. Jake is standing frozen with fear on Lookout Ledge. With the thunder crashing all around him, what will he do? Let's listen and find out.
What have I gotten myself into?
Jake gingerly leans out over Lookout Ledge. There's nothing in front of him or on either side. He's on a ledge with nothing but the steep path he came up behind him. He stands in the rain like this for 4 full minutes. At last, he knows what to do. He kneels.
Dear Lord, I don't even know if you can hear me or see me in all this storming going on out there, but it's me, Jake. Lord, I'm kneeling on wet rocks and in the mud on the edge of this horrible precipice. Oh Lord, what am I saying? I know that you always see me and hear me, even on this ledge, but I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to hear me. After all, I spent the last 5 days running through the wilderness, running away from you. Now I end up in this town in the middle of nowhere, Lord, and who are these people? But I digress. Dear God, I'm scared. I'm scared right now because of the ledge. You know I'm afraid of heights. Well, I guess it was silly of me to run into the mountains if I'm afraid of heights. I like all the trees. I feel like I can hide and be alone out here. Dear God, you know why I've been running. I've been Jonah, running away from what you asked me to do. I haven't forgotten the day. It seems like so long ago, but it was just last week. God, I remember I was praying, talking to you, just like I am now. Except, of course, I was in my apartment and, wearing clean and dry clothes with a soft bed to sleep in at night. How I missed that bed. I didn't hear your voice that day, but I just knew then, and I know now, you asked me to serve you. You asked me to be a missionary. I still don't get it. Why me? Why would you want me to be a missionary? I'm the last guy you should call to serve you, Lord. Even when I'm all cleaned up and dressed for church, I'm just not the missionary type. You know my plans, God. As soon as I turn 21, all those years of training are gonna pay off. I can finally start my career. Just a few months away and I can start my plan. But a missionary, why would you ask me to go to Katha or Tuktoyaktuk or Antarctica for that matter? Well, I know there are all kinds of people who are missionaries, but I'm just not one of them. Lord, I don't know if I can serve you in that way. I'm afraid. I have plans for a successful life. Serving you sounds, it sounds really hard.
The heart of the storm passes, and the rain gets a little lighter. The gray, spongy clouds lift just enough that Jake can see a little further around him. He stands up and looks around every side of Lookout Ledge, still praying.
Lord, I see the paths now. I see them. The one I came up on is muddy, but I can easily make it back down. God, I see the other path, the straight one ahead of me, but it's almost straight down and the rocks are loose. Are you sure, Lord? Am I hearing you right? You want me to choose the path? It's up to me? I can go on the easy path I've been on, or I can take the difficult one, the new one with the loose rocks. It's my choice, but one goes my way and the other is your way? Lord, I choose you. I choose to follow you and serve you, and even if the path is hard, I believe you're going to bless me. I believe your promises, Lord. Today, on this mountain, I give you my heart and I choose your path. I'm going to serve you wherever you need me. I'll be your missionary anywhere, even Katha or Tuktoyaktuk or even Antarctica. Now, it's going to be dark in a few hours, and I'm going to need your help down this mountain. I just can't make it on my own. Lord, please go with me. This is my prayer to you.
Jake begins slowly down the difficult mountain path in front of him. The rocks are loose and slippery from the rain. The path is steep and even harder than it looked from up on Lookout Ledge. Jake stops often to grab onto trees to steady himself. But he smiles as he struggles. The Lord is faithful to his promise, and he helps him. As the afternoon light fades behind the mountain peaks, Jake's Jonah experience, running away from God and what he asked him to do, that experience is nearly over. Meanwhile, back at the store, Jamie and Granddad have had a full afternoon of work.
Jamie, could you and Gadget come here for a minute?
I'm organizing the hiking guidebook shelves, putting them in alphabetical order by author.
That can wait. Come on, there's someone I want you to meet. I can't make you wait any longer.
Do you mean...
Yes, come on before I change my mind.
Granddad, this is where you keep her? Blue Birdie, I'm so glad to meet you.
Just a minute, let me start her up. She'll be happy to meet you too.
Jamie smiled from ear to ear. She'd been wondering about Blue Birdie, and here she was. She walked beside her, gently running her hand over Blue Birdie's smooth sides and up to the little window next to the door going into the cockpit. She reached up and touched the edge of the wing. It felt like a fresh coat of paint. Jamie ducked under the wing and walked around to look in Blue Birdie's front window.
Stop right there! When her engine is on, you don't go anywhere near her propeller. Why don't we step over here?
Oh, okay. Granddad, she is beautiful, just as beautiful as Dad always told me she was. But why is Blue Birdie inside? With her float, shouldn't she be out on the lake where she belongs?
Well, she spends the winter in here, and yes, other years she's out in the fresh air. Out on the lake by now, but you see, that's why I didn't want you to meet her just yet. I knew you'd be disappointed.
Disappointed? Granddad, Blue Birdie is the best float plane I've ever seen. I just know we're gonna be good friends. How could I be disappointed?
Well, not disappointed in her, Jamie. Disappointed in me.
What do you mean?
There's a tradition in Discovery Mountain. Each year, when Bluebirdie comes out of her winter home and moves out onto the lake next to the dock, all the kids come to say hi to her. And then I take whoever wants to go up for a ride. Little kids, parents, grandparents, everyone. It is a ritual, sort of the kickoff of the summer season. This year, whenever anyone asks, I stall. I tell them Bluebirdie is getting older. Well, you did need a few spark plugs in your engine changed and some new paint, old girl. But the truth is, Jamie, I'm getting older too. My eyesight just isn't what it was, even with my glasses on. I don't trust myself to take anyone up in Bluebirdie this year. What if I can't see and something happened?
Oh, Granddad, I already figured out that you were having trouble with your eyes. You should ask Mom to help you find an eye doctor. I'm not disappointed. Wasn't it you that told me God brings just the right people to Discovery Mountain? If that's true, I'm still not absolutely sure. Then maybe he'll send someone to help you with your eyes. Or someone to fly Bluebirdie.
Well, you are starting to believe, aren't you? To believe that God brings just the right people to this place, the ones he wants to be here. Well, I guess it can't hurt to ask your mom if she can recommend a good eye doctor. A trip down the mountain and into the city wouldn't be so bad. Could bring you back a few supplies for the store.
Granddad, that's good. Thank you for letting me meet Bluebirdie. Daddy told me bedtime stories about her all the time when I was little. I could never be disappointed by her. Or you.
Jamie finally got to meet Bluebirdie. Everything is just getting better and better for her and Discovery Mountain. And in the meantime, how is Jake doing? Well, stay with us during this short break and we'll find out just how Jake's climb down the mountain is going. Hi kids, please excuse the interruption. I want to talk to the adults listening with you. Now, when I'm not busy working on Discovery Mountain, I'm busy being a mom. I juggle work, music lessons, and trips to the orthodontist. There never seems to be extra time at the end of the day, or extra money at the end of the month. But it's important to my husband and I to support causes that we see making a difference in the world. And the ministry that brings you Discovery Mountain, the Voice of Prophecy, well, that's top of our list. Now, I found an easy way to support this ministry and it doesn't take a penny out of the family budget. It's Amazon Smile. Whenever I make a purchase at Amazon.com, the Voice of Prophecy automatically receives a donation. Find out more about this easy-to-use program that won't take anything out of your orthodontics budget at smile.amazon.com and add the Voice of Prophecy as your charity. Thank you for helping us make a difference in kids' lives. Jamie and Gadget say goodbye to Bluebirdie, already looking forward to their next visit. The air is calm and the rain has stopped as they walk outside and towards Trekker's side door.
It's almost dark, Jamie. Why don't you run inside and grab a sandwich out of the walk-in fridge for supper? I don't think your mom is home from work at the hospital just yet. Jamie?
Granddad, look up on the side of the mountain. Do you see that? It's Jake. I saw him in the woods again yesterday. Why is he coming down that steep path from Lookout Ledge? Even I know there's an easier path right behind it. Kayla pointed it out to me. She told me never to take that path. She said it's super dangerous.
Yes, well, there can be only one reason that young man's taking that path. He's coming right back down into Discovery Mountain. Whoa! Did you see him slip? He's going to crack his head open if he's not careful.
Why didn't he just take the easy path?
I believe Jake's been circling on the easy path for days now. Ever since I saw him sitting on the big rock just behind my yard a few days ago, he hasn't made it very far away from Discovery Mountain. That easy path makes a big loop. People sometimes get stuck on it if they're looking for an easy way out, and don't bother to check a compass.
Well, he doesn't need a compass now. There's only one direction on that path, and that's down.
The path is steep, but whoa, did you see that? He almost slid over the edge.
Yeah, but it looks like he's smiling. Why isn't he afraid?
Perhaps this is the end of his wandering. He wouldn't be the first Jonah to have a turnaround on Lookout Ledge.
Jonah? Oh, like the Bible Jonah. Yeah, he's been running away from God. Ooh, the rain's picking up again. Granddad, do you think he'll find a hotel in town or sleep in the woods again tonight?
No hotel here, sweetie, and none of the rental cabins are open for the season yet. If he's traveling down that path, then he's figured out a few things these last few days. He'll find a place to sleep. Grab a couple of sandwiches out of the walk-in fridge. I'll make us some hot tea to go with them.
Granddad, Kayla started to tell me about how Discovery Mountain was founded, but she said it was your story.
Well, here's your tea, honey.
Oh, thanks for making hot tea. I can't quite get used to the weather here. Anyway, Kayla was surprised I didn't already know the story of Discovery Mountain. She told me to ask you.
Your dad never told you the story?
He might have when I was little, but I don't remember. Sorry.
Well, nothing to be sorry about. Your dad told you about his mother dying when she was not quite 2 years old, right?
Yeah, he said he only remembers her a little. He said he remembers how she smelled, like rose petal perfume and baby shampoo. But he can't remember her face.
Yes, well, after my dear sweet wife died, I didn't know what to do. Your daddy was so little, he stayed with my sister for a while, and I went back to work. I tried to focus on numbers and submitting tax documents, but it was difficult to focus on my job.
You were an accountant? I just can't picture that.
Yes, a tax accountant. Why can't you picture that?
Well, you just don't seem like the kind of guy to sit at a desk and work on a computer all day.
Well, you are more right than even I knew, but I wasn't at a computer all day. In those days, it was pencils, spreadsheets, calculators, but you know, I really didn't enjoy it. Well, one weekend, my old buddy from high school invited me out to his place. He said I needed to get out of the city, clear my head. He had a cabin on a little lake.
Was it here in Discovery Mountain?
No, you're getting ahead of yourself. That was still up in Canada. Please, tell me that your daddy told you about your Canadian roots, eh?
Yeah, of course I know Daddy was born in Canada. He still puts maple syrup in his tea instead of honey. I guess I know where he learned it.
Well, here's some maple syrup. Try some. It's good. Well, on my friend's lake was the prettiest blue float plane I had ever seen.
Blue Birdie.
Yes, now you're guessing right. It took me over a year to get my pilot's license, but when I did, I talked to my friend. He agreed to sell Blue Birdie to me. I think you could tell she liked me better than she liked him already. Blue Birdie and I started flying every weekend. It was just what I needed.
So, Discovery Mountain?
Well, one Sunday, Blue Birdie and I set out to explore the mountains. A spring thunderstorm settled in.
That seems to happen a lot around here.
And when the spongy gray clouds lifted, Blue Birdie and I were flying right above the little lake. We landed on the water, Blue Birdie rested, and I explored. There was nothing here, not a person in sight. There were only a few moose in this clearing in the woods. I hiked around, sketching a map as I went. We flew back, and I couldn't stop thinking about it here. I went home, took out all my savings, and each Sunday we flew out here, and I worked on building a cabin. When it was done, your daddy and I moved here and started our new life.
So you really are the reason for Discovery Mountain. How'd you survive out here all by yourself like that?
Well, that's a story for another day. But one thing has always been true about Discovery Mountain. God brought me here because this is where I needed to be. He's done that again and again for more than 40 years. God brings people here that need to be here.
Like Mom gadgeting me? I'm still not so sure.
You don't have to be sure because I told you it is true. God will show you. So, what do you think of maple syrup in your tea?
Well, I'm not sold. It might be something that grows on you. I'll keep trying it.
Sounds like the rain let up. Time to close up shop. You can alphabetize the hiking books tomorrow. Let's hope our young Jake finds a place to hunker down for the night. I don't see him on the path anymore. I pray he made it down safely. God is certainly working on that young man. Yes, indeed.
Jake had a dramatic experience on Lookout Ledge. He wondered if God really could be calling him to be a missionary. He didn't feel like the missionary type. Have you ever felt that way? Like you weren't the right type of person to do something that God called you to do? I know that I have. Well, 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 7 tells us, "The Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Join us next time for the final episode of When God Asks, What Will I Say? What does God have in mind for Jake?
Hi, I'm Director Doug, the director of Discovery Mountain. Were you happy to finally find out who Granddad's patient was and to meet Blue Birdie? Blue Birdie is a de Havilland float plane. If you want to see what planes like her look like and learn more about what they do, visit our website discoverymountain.com and click on the picture of Blue Birdie to learn all about these amazing Canadian planes.
I'm Miss Jean, and you've been listening to Discovery Mountain, where the air is clear enough to hear your imagination, and where every day is an exercise in faith. To listen to other episodes and to send us a message, visit us at discoverymountain.com or write to us at Discovery Mountain, P.O. Box 999, Loveland, Colorado 80539. And in Canada, write to Box 2127, Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, L1H7V4. This is a production of The Voice of Prophecy. Join us again next time here at Discovery Mountain, where every day is an exercise in faith.